in association with Advisor Home. Thank you very much to those guys for prompting this. We're here to talk to you about peer-to-peer lending and see if we can disentangle some of the issues and where it fits into your client's landscape, and how you guys can choose the best way to use it, advise for your clients what it's all about. And we are speaking from RateSetter, which is the #1 peer-to-peer platform in the country, and we are the only ones thus far to produce a portal which will explain in greater detail, which will allow the financial advisor to take the administration off the client's hands and speak with them and charge accordingly. So just to run through that, the objectives of this webinar are to cover, we're going to look at some of the key figures in the industry. By figures we mean some of the numbers. We're going to look at the fundamentals of peer-to-peer lending. We're going to give you some examples of how you can use it in a client's portfolio. We'll run you through everyone's favourite bit, which is the regulation. Then we're going to go into the IFA portal and show you how it's unique to the industry and how you can use it. And then we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to touch a little bit about the future. We won't keep you long, but this might last about 20 minutes. So the slide you can see on the screen talks about the Liberum AltFi volume index, which basically tracks the path and the money that's generated in the fintech and alternative finance market. And as you can see, this is no longer just a bank rounding error. This is actually now a significant part of the savings market. As in 2014 alone, it generated close to £2 billion. So it's reasonably significant. And you can see in the little shaded box on the left-hand side there, the markup. What we're going to talk about is the second area there, which is P2P consumer lending, which is the bit that RateSetter is the market that RateSetter is in. Just to drill down a little bit about RateSetter, this is, in terms of our data, we generated just short of 300 million last year, and that is in loans matched. And as you can see from that volume, that graph, it's a pretty significant. I mean, I think if you look at that chart and you're any sort of analyst, you'd realise that it's going places. Just to give you an idea, if you look at the bottom of the graph and you can see how the shape is, one of the sort of killer stats is we've been around since 2010. September 2010 is when we wrote our first loan, and it took us about 3.5 years to do the first 100 million in loans matched, and it's now taken us about 18 months to match the next $500 million. So it's getting a little bit serious. We obviously now have nearly 100 staff. So just to give you a background, we're not a sort of virtual company. You can probably hear a bit of a rustle in the background because this is our main sort of trading room. Peer-to-peer lending, what is it? Peer-to-peer lending, I'm just about to show you a little video, so it's not unbelievably smooth in terms of technology. I'm going to have to collapse the screen in a second, but I will be showing you a video. Hopefully you can all hear it. But essentially, the idea here is that you are lending money to unrelated individuals or peers via a regulated online platform. So in other words, RateSetter, we have lenders, we have borrowers, and they want to talk to each other, they want to work with each other, they want to pass money across, and we offer a regulated environment for that transaction to happen. So just forgive me a minute whilst I come out of the screen and I'll go to another one.
So low, they're almost non-existent. We believe savers deserve more. And by cutting out middlemen and using the latest technology to enhance checks and improve accuracy, we're lowering costs and saving time. And we're sharing the savings we're making with rate setters, giving them more interest on their savings. It just seems fair that way. Our customers seem to like our way of doing things, with 98% happy to recommend us. We're working on the other two. You can be a rate setter really easily. It takes just 2 minutes to register your details. Then you decide how much you want to save and how long for. And set the interest rate you want to earn. Pick our best market rate or choose your own. Then we'll use advanced technology to match your money with creditworthy borrowers. As soon as your money's matched, it'll start earning. It's that simple. But what if a borrower doesn't pay back their loan? Well, there's our provision fund. It's ensured not one single saver has ever lost a penny. It's a record we're rather proud of, and one we go out of our way to protect. Because we do what's in your best interest, and we never forget that it's your money we're lending. That's the rate setter way. You can be a rate setter.
Okay, so we're back to the slideshow. Just want to run through some of the typical features of what's going on in with RateSetter. You can earn anywhere between 2.5% and 6.5%. The reason we say those spreads is because we have 4 different markets which offer you various different agility, as I say, short, medium, long-term markets. There's no charge for lenders. There's provision for default, which we'll go into later, but that video sort of touched on it. And critically for you guys, all returns are paid in gross. There are risks attached to this, which we can go into, but the fundamentals are that it's not covered by the FSCS, and that's an active decision. So, what can it be used for? We think that RateSetter, we offer you a monthly access rate, which works in a similar way to a bank account, short-term deposit account. It's a place where you can park money for clients. It's strategic, it's accessible, and you can see the traditional or the sort of average rates there. These rates were, I think, taken sort of last week. The base rate obviously that's quite a generous base rate, but the monthly access there is about 3%. So not only does that knock the lights out of what you can get in the bank, but it also actually fundamentally beats the index. What other things can it be used for? We know that there are clients of a certain age, probably in the post-55 market, who are looking for an income, and our 5-year market offers you an income product. So unlike the 30-day market, which is a bond product, this is an income product which operates in the sense that you get paid back the interest on a monthly basis, and you can either sweep that away or you can put it into a kind of virtual washing machine and compound it with the capital and roll it up. So as you can see there, our 5-year market, which pays you that monthly income, currently sits around 6.7%, which I think you'll agree definitely beats the index. Regulation, just in terms of regulation, you know, the peer-to-peer community has largely welcomed regulation thus far. There is a fundamental reason for that. We've got, I reckon, a unique experience in financial services, purely because we drove much of that regulation ourselves. We have a body which is called the Peer-to-Peer Finance Association, of which RateSetter is a founding member, and they're the ones that have been sort of marching up to the Treasury and the SCA to ensure that A, we are regulated, which I think a lot of financial service companies would look at and think, hang on, that's a bit mad, but actually it makes us a much more consumerable marketplace. The key areas that we've had to comply with is protections in case of firm failure, so we have a fully documented run-off plan. We are now CAS compliant as of October the 1st last year. There are all sorts of disclosure rules that we have to put in, and in terms of that, we also have to set down our reporting requirements. I think there's a key there in terms of if you look at other areas of alternative finance, such as the equity-based platforms, debt-based platforms such as ours have received thus far lighter touch regulation as they're considered to be low risk. So this brings us on to the IFA portal and the reason that we're here. There's a logo in the bottom right-hand corner which is produced by FE TrustNet. FE TrustNet, which I imagine the vast majority of you are familiar with, have given this a ranking of 1, or a rating rather of 1. If you bear in mind that cash is 0 and the FTSE is around 110 to 120, you can see that this is a fairly low risk operation. This IFA portal here is, as I said at the top of the show, is unique to the industry, but is also fundamentally user friendly, and it allows you to take the administration, which actually is very, very straightforward anyway, but it allows you to take the administration off your clients' hands and earn certain amounts of money on the basis of how I'm going to show you. So you can manage accounts. These are virtual accounts. As you can see, they're test accounts, but this is just for your own benefit. But the idea here on the top right of the screen, you've got an image which shows how you can find a client, traditional searching, tools. You can look at an illustration tool which shows you where their client is, gives you a sort of brief overview of what their account looks like, and you can manage hundreds of accounts from one particular entry level. You can see below the types of, sorry, it's a bit blurry, it's a bit small, but you can see the types of details that clients offer you, that this portal offers you in terms of detail about its clients. So the juicy bit, which is the client accounts and how you can take fees. Ultimately, there are two ways that the financial advisor can take a fee. You can either, this is RDR compliant, so fundamentally what we can do is you can take a fee at the beginning as an administration setup fee, and that can be a flat fee, which is either taken off the capital or off the interest, or you can take an annual management fee. So you can see down the bottom, I've given you an illustration of how it would work. So somebody putting £20,000 into the 5-year market, the advisor would take the upfront fee, which is £200, which means that the client would actually be putting £19,800 onto the market, which means that ultimately you erode some of their return, but you can see that the total return for that person was 21,126, so a profit of 1,326 rather, minus your 200, which means they get a net return of 5.63, which is pretty impressive and is a sort of annuity-like product. There are certain products that are coming down the pipe in peer-to-peer, and what we would like to do is explain to you where we are with a couple of other things. Everybody wants to hear about ISAs. Everybody wants to hear about and SIPs. Retirement products are very peer-to-peer friendly. They're already available. We're the first platform for consumer loans to sign up with several trustees and have a SIP compliant product. So we have various SIP trustees that are on board with us, notably London and Colonial, European Pensions Management, who are the founders of the SIP market, or the SIP product, and a company called Westerby. We also have about another 7 that are sitting there waiting in the queue to come on. And it sits very well in the self-invested market and something that's very politically friendly. ISAs, the reason there's a picture of the Mona Lisa on the right-hand side is because we have coined the term LISA, which is going to be a lending ISA. which is ultimately there's going to be a third ISA, we believe. And because we're not stocks and shares, because we're not cash, we're somewhere in the middle, probably more akin to cash than stocks and shares, but it's going to become a lending ISA, and we would have thought that would be available by April next year. But it's a great way of enhancing any cash ISA, which I think you'll all agree your clients probably moan to you about, actually do absolutely nothing for them. So everyone's UK's favourite savings product is going to be hit by lending soon, and that is a traditional, we think it's going to come in a traditional format. It's just going to be a third variety. So that is it from me. That was very short and sweet, but once again I want to thank Advisor Home for setting this up and helping us out with building this platform, which so far has been a great success, and we look forward to a lot of you registering. Further to this ending, you will get a link which shows you straight to the registration page of how you guys can sign up. So thanks very much indeed.